Hi, it's December and the videos of November, they just disappear. Basically, I went away the last couple of days of November, and while I was away, I was supposed to edit the video, but I was on holiday vacation, so just for at least 3 days, I didn't want to do anything. I went back and I was like, okay, I'm gonna edit. I couldn't find the videos. Again, absolutely nowhere to be seen, which is not great, but I guess it happens, and my mind is so tired that I don't even want to. I look for them, but I don't want to stay at the oh my god, what happened? Instead, I realized, you know what, whatever. I think what I'm going to do is that I'm going to try to do a video before the end of the month of November and December together. I was able to do things in November, but of course I need to kind of rewind and remember what exactly did I do, and then explain that, and then I can move on. So yeah, that's going to be, I guess, a mix of November and December. So the end of 2024. Oh wow, saying that out loud, it's tricky. But anyway, I guess this is what we're going to do. Okay, let's talk about what I have done in the last month or so. I made my costume for the Castlevania character of Carmilla. Really cool character, I love it. I have a whole video talking about vampires, so of course Carmilla I love, like, makes sense. Anywho, it was a costume that I made last minute because I went out looking for something else and I found this fabric and I was like, oh, this is beautiful, this is perfect, it's giving me a lot of inspiration. And the design itself was really simple. I was able to figure it out quite quickly. And I had other things. This is one cosplay that I had in the back of my mind that I wanted to do, but I didn't have the fabric. So when the fabric came up to me, basically, it all kind of turned up. It is one of those cases where I opened the door to the possibility of working with something instead of maybe keep on with the things that I was already doing, especially because the thing that I was working on wasn't going so well. So I rather have something that it's making me think, it's helping me just not feel the need to, like, okay, I have to do it. Instead, I have the sort of energy, it comes up, and that's really useful for me, especially at the moment. So I made a dress. I actually took the pictures. It's on my Instagram. I love it. However, while taking the pictures, I realized this is crazy unpractical. It looked great. I mean, I'm happy how it looks, but it was not fun to put on. The details, a lot of the details kept falling, and then it got dirty, and I realized, oh, I have to wash the whole thing, but it's quite heavy, so of course it's going to take longer. And then when I had to dry it out, it was very chaotic, I have to say. And so I decided, let's just rewind. I took the pictures, I'm happy with that, but I can now level it up, and that's what I've been doing. So what I did basically last month was that I also took out my DIY book and I did a design of how it comes up, but I added all of the details as well as all of the pieces that I want them to be separated. So what I have done is actually I have created a method in which I can just attach them all with buttons, and I can also separate them. So it's not all attached, so I can just have one piece and then I add all of the others if I feel that it's too much while I'm moving or whatever. And that's something that I've been quite happy with the result. I think that it works. However, I have been using the buttons that I had, which were these black ones, metal, and I'm not fond of them. I prefer plastic buttons because they tend to, especially in a humidity place, they tend to get rusted and also ruin the fabric. So I needed the plastic ones that I have. But in order to understand if I could possibly do that costume by the system of using buttons, I try with those and it works, but now I need to change them all. Also, I have all of the details, including the details that made me suffer, including, well, the hair was okay. I do would like to try to improve it because the line, the I don't know how you call it. Anyway, the line like this one it's really rough. It's really, really rough. So I'd like to kind of try to blend it a little bit better, as well as creating something that doesn't, end up everywhere, because that's the thing that happened. We also have eyes, which is just lenses, and also have nails, which were tricky because they kept on falling. I don't have the actual glue because these are no nails that I can actually keep on. They're really long. They look great, but for work I cannot. So I need to find something that allows me to put them on and that I can take them out easily. Yes, I could just buy the glue, but I want to avoid that. Anywho, and now I have the teeth. Now I got me some teeth ages ago, but they fit weirdly. So I decided for the photos to make some with some plasticky thing that I have, and it wasn't bad, but the color was a little bit weird, and also I have my doubts in regards to it. So I would like to do them again. I would like to do something that is really nice and looks good, and I don't have to worry about always editing those pictures or trying to kind of hide it a little bit, because that's not practical. So if I can improve it, I'd rather do that. Now, also, we have all of the details in gold, which is the principal color, as well as red. And we have beads, and that's kind of it. However, again, the tricky thing is actually to put everything together in a way that makes sense, is cohesive. Now, on the monthly block, and this especially, that is a kind of rewind of November, and we're going to see what I can do during the month of December. I'm going to show you a couple of things here and there, but already just explaining you this, because I realize there's a lot of details, I think I'm going to do a separate video. Probably right now, or maybe tomorrow, I don't know, but I already separated all of the pieces, and I'm trying to kind of organize my brain as well as the things physically, so I can explain it to you better. So I guess on the blog I'm going to just show you quick things here and there, and then I'm going to do a separate video making a more in-depth explanation, because I have to be honest, I think it's not a bad idea. If you're interested in doing something similar to it, I think, it's a great way to share that information. Already there's a couple of things that I changed my mind about, that at first I was like, oh yes, I like this, and then I realized, no, actually no. So I also need to kind of fix that in a way. So yeah, it's I think an interesting project to do, and I'm quite excited. So we keep on going. Tiny update, I got me a capybara, a tiny capybara, the other day, and I decided that the style wasn't really mine, so I wanted to, I don't know, change the fit, I don't know how you can call it, and he's the boy. I thought about making the explanation and everything on this video, but then I realized it might elongate it unnecessarily, so I might make another video. I filmed the whole thing, and it's not that big of a deal. It's probably going to be a couple of minutes of video, but at least it's separated. But I still think it looks so cute. Look at that. It's my boy. Okay, sorry. Let's stop fangirling over my capybara. Although, look at him again. Or chihuiro, as we call it in Colombia. Now, the other news is that I haven't been working on the big project. I mean, I've changed a couple of buttons. Nothing fancy. Uh, However, one thing that I wanted to do, and I don't know if I said this or not, is that I want to work on the accessories and the detailing. And I tried the glue gun. I tried it with the clear one, and then painted it red for the kind of blood type of texture. I also tried it with red glue, because you can find that. But the result is not really, I mean, it's not bad, but it does become really tricky and wasty, I have to say. So I wasn't a fan of the end result. So the other thing that I have seen for a while, that I've been fascinated by, is resin. However, it's a tricky material, because it's one of those cases where you're like, oh, it's nothing, a couple of mixes here and there, and then you go. No, it's important to be very aware of the materials you're using and the risks. And so I decided to give it a try out. I've been thinking about it for a while, so I got me a small amount, and I did some tryouts. However, before I show you the results of my tryouts, when I work with resin, I need to put on the mask, put on the gloves, open the windows, or go outside. Of course, during winter, it becomes a little bit trickier, but I need to kind of take that space time to do it because of the risk. Yes, I'm not planning on working on resin the whole day and for years and years to come, but still, it's one of those cases where doesn't hurt to be a bit more aware of these things. And so that slows down a little bit more the process, considering that most of the types of materials that I have around me, I can do while also multitasking and making, you know, all sorts of things in here in this space. With this, it's a little bit different. Just wanted to point it out. But I really like the result. I think it's really nice. It's really useful. I even have a couple of extra ideas that came to my mind, so we'll see. But I want to show you. I did some, you know, some of the clear one with some. Let's let's do some makeup stuff. This isn't a show anyway. You know, with some glitter. I think it looks nice. I had some silicone molds for other things, and so I used them. Then I painted it red with food coloring. I don't know if you're supposed to do that, probably not. But I just want to see the end result and how it looks. You know, how much also does it take to actually fully curate, and what methods are better, and all of it. Then I did some stars. As you can see here, I went for thickness. You know, I want to see, okay, let's see. I'm planning on, if I'm able to, but I don't know, to soil it open and see if the inside is fully curated, also maybe with these ones, because I really want it to be fully curated. I don't know if you know, but if it's not, if it doesn't fully curate, as in it means that there is some still liquid material, it can be risky, and so that's an important thing to do. So yeah, you know, this is dried out, some glitter in here. I think it looks nice. I really like the shininess of it all. I also try to sand it down to reduce the corners, and the end result is not terrible. You know, of course it's not as shiny. You probably cannot see this on the camera, but yeah, I then tried out to do a layer of clear nail polish over it, and it kind of helps actually, I think, with the end result. So then I did this one, which is a mix of everything. A little bit of clear, a little bit of red. I want to see how much can I melt the two colors together, just for fancies really. I'm not planning to do this, but I thought it was really nice. I know you can do layers, but I also have very little patience, and so I did it right off the bat. Also, I did try it out with some nail polish covering the resin, different colors, just to see how does it dry, how does it cover it. It's not terrible, of course, you know, it all depends on what you want to do, but for me it was really, really useful for do these things. I will, you know, one day in some moment try to open them to see on the inside. But it was really nice. I feel it was really interesting. I quite like the end result. I did some trade outs also with droplets, but you cannot see them because they're so tiny. They're really tiny, and in this state they're so tiny that they're not doing what, you know, what I would want them to do. I mean, it's not bad, but also the red is a bit too light, and so it's not really the thing, but it was really useful. I found other methods. I just happened to see a video that was doing it in a more logical way and I was like, well, that does make sense, so I'm gonna try that out. But again, because of the type of material, who knows how long does that might take. I cannot speak anymore. Anyway, this is the updates for now, but we'll see. We still have weeks to go, so let's see. Here we go, end of the month and end of the year. Such a weird year. I don't want to get into it because I think I'm still processing it. So in the last couple of weeks, I haven't had the time, energy to do much. It's been a while. I've been doing a couple of kind of side quests more than anything. One tiny creative thing that I did was that I have this pin and I wanted to do something Christmassy, but I'm not a huge fan of Christmas. So I got this cat and I think it's really pretty, and I just made it a hat. So yeah, this was my Christmas decorations of the year just for work, and I thought it was really cute and it was a success. A lot of my co-workers were really pleased with that and that's the most creative thing I did in the last 2 weeks. But anyway, in regards to other things, I am trying to focus on reducing, because I have this terrible habit of keeping a lot of things and saying like, oh well, there is this thing that I could do with that, so just put it aside. Oh, there's this thing that I could use for this, you know, idea that I kind of have, so let's keep it there. And I just surround myself with things, and I don't like that about myself. I think it is unnecessary, and it's with clothes, it's with objects, it's with so many things. So
one of the things that I've been trying to do is being really honest with myself and letting go of some things. Um, I was organizing a couple of things here and there, and I started doing that. I started looking at things and being like, am I actually going to work with this, or am I just going to wait? I don't have time at the moment to do things that I want to, things that I have a full on idea of. When am I going to do this? That is not even half of an idea. So I decided, hey, let's let it go. Let's learn to say goodbye to things. It's weird. I do think that there is a whole subject matter in there in regards to capitalism and how our society makes us consume a lot of things. And especially when you're a creative person, we tend to kind of grab so many things because we get interested and we want to try this and that other thing, and oh, I saw that once, it looks like I could use it for something. And then you surround yourself by all of this, but you don't really have a lot of time to do so, and I don't like that feeling. So I'm trying to work on seeing it in a different way. The way I'm trying to see it is, yes, I like to pick up new hobbies and new ways to do things. However, I like to connect them with something a bit more specific. Because once for me was more like, I'm just gonna buy the materials and we'll see what comes up. No real plan, no real idea. And what that has led me is with a lot of stuff again, and producing things that sometimes I don't use. And it's a waste. The reality is that it's a waste. And so I'm trying to be a bit more mindful of the things that I have. I have gotten things, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, well, no, no, no. I have got things, and I do try it out that include tiny things, really, really tiny things. And I'm trying to think before I buy. I write it down on the phone or on my notebook, and I just let it simmer for a little bit. I just don't go because I have the means, doesn't mean I have to buy it. And there's a couple of things that actually I've been, wanting since I was little, and now I realize I don't really need that. It's not something that I use a lot. It's not something that at the moment I plan on using for any particular project, so it can stay on the list. I don't have to own it. But other things, for example, I have gotten, and I would like to, find the time to actually use it, because I think there's a lot of cool things that I could have. And again, similar with the clothes, I would like to reach a point in which the clothes that I have are mine in the sense that I'm taking care of them. I know what I have, and when I wear them, I'm just happy with what I'm wearing, because I know it fits and I know I'm giving it time. And I don't know how to explain the feeling, but that's kind of what I'm aiming for, is to be surrounded by things that make me happy, not just because I own them. That's just, not enough for me. I don't think that in the long term that actually does anything good. Not for me, not for the earth. And so, yeah, that's kind of what I'm trying to do. And yeah, I have no idea if I'm going to be able to be creative in the next couple of weeks. I really, really hope so, because the project there of the vampire Camilla is there, is looking at me, and I'm like, one day I will reach for you. But sadly, I've been really, really busy with other things. Again, I'm thinking of, um, you know, kind of melting things together, and putting together this idea that I have of having things around me that I really enjoy and I like, with the let's create things. And I think the best way that I can explain this is with an example. I have a box in which I have all of my bags, all of them. And I also have boxes in which I have put on all of my earrings and all of my rings and all of my necklaces, and everything is separated into containers. I love me a container. So what I want to do, because I do think it's kind of creative, is to take out those boxes and go into it and see everything I have, and being really honest about it. Again, being like, do I actually use this? Do I actually reach for this bag? Do I find it useful for work, or for hobbies, or for just going out? Is this something that my brain is happy to see, or is it in the category that I have a lot of things that I had because maybe they didn't cost much, or maybe because I was gifted and I feel kind of guilty to throw them away. But it's like, they're not doing anything, you know, they're just there, not being used. And I think that's kind of sad. So I rather do that work of taking everything out, looking at it and realize what I actually have and be like, okay, let's learn to let go and let's learn to love and care for and maybe even personalize the things that I have, which is the other thing that I think that it would be really nice, is to kind of, some things that needs a little bit of fixing, I can take a further step and make it a really personalized thing. I don't know. In my mind, what I'm trying to do is creating a sort of character outfit, in the sense that my clothes and my accessories are me. You know, all me. They just make sense. So I don't need to think about not having stuff. You know, when I go out and I see things and I'm like, oh, this looks so fun, but then I'm like, don't need it though. It could be fun, maybe it'd be something really unique, really interesting, but other than that, on my closet, everything is me, and so I'm good. So I guess that's it. I have no idea if I explained that. In any case, um, this was it for the year. This was it for the last couple of months. I am okay with it. I'm trying to, you know, still process that I don't have the same time that I used to have. But I'm still really on the idea of creating things, of making stuff, because I love to do it. And I have a couple of projects that I want to, it's my cat, that I want to work on. And so, yes, this was a very interesting year. See you the next round, and I hope the next couple of months is going to be, you know, always better. I hope your month went well. I hope your year went well. And see you the next one. Bye bye.